everyone, welcome on back to yet another episode, where today, I'm still figuring out this camera. At this point, I'm getting my new editor tomorrow. I filmed that last Spider-Man video, however long ago that was. That was the last video I filmed. All the rest of the ones that you're going to see, I've already pre-filmed and just haven't had the chance to edit yet. This one is just me sitting down and I want to talk about something that I care about, and I want to see your guys' reactions. Maybe I'll make a video about it more in depth at a later point. I want to talk about a TV show called Boston Legal. Now, I don't know if any of my audience knows what this show is. It is a lawyer show, like a legal lawyer show that was on ABC around 2004 to like 2008 or something like that. Don't leave yet. I promise it gets better than this. Now, it kind of sounds boring. It kind of sounds like, oh yeah, you know, there's hundreds of lawyer shows, hundreds of cop shows. What makes this one stand out? Well, this one is funny. Let me tell you why. Before I actually get to tell you about Boston Legal, I have to talk about something beforehand, which is another show called The Practice. Now, this show was a very by-the-numbers, lawyer show where you have, a group of lawyers. I think it was like 6 or something. They rotate the cast every once in a while, but it's still like the basic ones that are still there for the entire show, except for the last season. When it got around to the last season, the popularity of this show had dipped off. A lot of the cast members were either looking for too much money or looking for something else to do, so they didn't come back to finish season 8. I want to say it was either 8 or 9. But they still had part of the cast, and they still had another season left, so they were going to do one more. So they brought on an actor to try to reinvent the show and try to make it more interesting. That actor was James Spader. Spader, as a lot of you know, is, he's a very well-known actor. He's been in just a lot of stuff. He was, Ultron in the Avengers movies. He was in, The Office in a role that a lot of people didn't like, but I wanted to talk about that role later on because I think that was kind of a, effect of this show, the Boston Legal. And I actually kind of liked him in that show. I don't know why everybody hates him in The Office. I thought he was pretty funny. I don't know if he meshed with all of the cast members very well, but I think his character was actually not that bad. But yeah, anyway, he was in that. He's been in Ultron, obviously, Blacklist. He's just been in a ton of stuff, and a lot of people know who he is. He has an amazing voice, but that's beside the point. He's also really funny. Now, when I say funny, I don't mean in a typical stand-up comedian, ha-ha-ha kind of funny. No. I mean, like, has a kind of grit to him and a kind of character to him that makes him especially... That makes his humor a specific kind of humor, but it works very well if you had the cast members around him to build it on. So, he came in on The Practice for the last season and instantly stole the show. The whole show was about Bobby Donald, who left in season 7 or 8. Again, I can't remember what the exact numbers were. So they needed another lead. A lot of people assumed it would be Eugene, a character that had been there the entire show, and was basically set to run the office anyway. Except that didn't really happen because so many people liked Alan, liked his character. He's he's very funny in a, kind of abrasive way. It's kind of hard to explain without showing you a clip, so here's a clip from The Practice of Alan Shore.
Punch! Oh, both men are down on the ice, and Sears is not letting up. The referee is trying to...
Gee, you're certainly a good hockey player. So, what did this man do, steal your puck?
He took out one of our best players a few weeks ago.
Took out on a date?
Mike, the problem we have, in addition to the attack itself, you went on record the night before saying you were going to get him. So it's difficult for us to say it was some sudden outbreak of emotion. Do you see our dilemma?
A word of reply would be helpful. A whole sentence would be positively stunning.
Yeah, that's pretty much him the entire time. And the thing is, he's not like a stand-up lawyer or anything, because that would kind of ruin his character. The point of the character is that he breaks the law. He's not somebody that you would look at and go, yes, this guy, I need this guy. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter, because Alan Shore is just funny to watch. And that's why people loved him. He instantly stole the show. There were, pretty much all of the episodes of the last little bit of The Practice had Alan Shore as the lead, or at the very least, a very big part of the episode. Now, one thing that did happen throughout the entire season is they were going back and forth on whether or not to fire him. At the end of the season, they do, and he leaves. Except, not quite yet, because he got into a legal battle with the firm that fired him, and, you know, himself. Well, this was another gateway to introduce yet another character that would go on to star in Boston Legal, and that is Denny Crane.
I'm Denny Crane. You knew that, didn't you? Denny Crane?
That's what I just said. Anyway, Denny Crane, played by William Shatner. I can't say enough of how much these two mesh perfectly. They're the perfect amount of, like, we're gonna break the law, but also still be entertaining. They're very funny, they bounce off each other very well, and it's just so outlandish that it works just as a comedy, just on itself. If you could film those two actors the entire time just sitting down and talking back and forth to each other, and it would be wildly entertaining, because the writing, especially on Boston Legal, but even on The Practice it wasn't too bad, but especially on Boston Legal, once the last season of The Practice ended, they did a spin-off show called Boston Legal that was more popular, or at least it is more popular now than The Practice is. It's so outlandishly funny that there's no way that you can not laugh, you know, and it works so well. If you've never seen the show, I really, really recommend watching it, because it's really funny. It has, and it's not just funny either. It's not just like a comedy per se. There are heavy stuff in it. Like the end of season 1, spoiler alert, has somebody getting the death penalty for something that he didn't do, and you watch them do the injection and everything. It's a very tense scene, but that's not the whole show. It's not so over dramatic that it, like, drains any creativity or any fun out of the show like The Practice did, but it's not so comedic that they can't do anything dramatic, because they do. But they do a great job of mixing those two genres together to create just a great final product. Really can't explain the show very well. It's something that you just kind of have to watch. There are many clips online of, you know, the show just kind of out of context, and you can see how funny it is there. In context, it's also just hilarious. Probably even more so in context, but you can still watch it out of context and still get something from it. I would very much recommend doing that, or, you know, at the very least, searching the show and just watch a clip or two, because I guarantee you that you will like it. And if you don't, well then, I don't know what to tell you. They might be asking yourself, why am I making this video? Well, one, I needed content, but two, and maybe more importantly, this show is exactly how I want high school humor to be. Exactly the type of, you can do something silly, but still do important storylines, but still make it funny. This is the ultimate of what I want to do as a filmmaker, and I would very much love to do like a skit or a movie based on this universe. I might do that one day with Cameron. I haven't really talked to him yet. He's never watched the show, at least not to my knowledge, but I really think he should, and I really want to do that because I think it would be amazing. The characters are just so well defined, you know? And obviously my version wouldn't have all of the characters from the show because it's not possible, but I want to do something in the universe of the show to make it fit in, and I think you guys would really like it, because if you like my high school humor stuff, then this would be perfect. Anyway, that's this video. Tell me what you guys thought of it in the comments down below. Tell me what you think of my new camera, because I absolutely love it. Tell me if I need a haircut, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye!